What's going on, guys? Preparation for the next track day. We're going to install some rear disc brakes on here today. This is a setup that I pulled off of the supercharged hatch about 2 years ago. It's been sitting on a shelf ever since. The reason I'm going to use it, already has new bearings, has the ARP studs, the rotors and pads. I bought some new pads. I'm waiting for the rotors to show up. It's essentially ready to go set. I've used it, didn't have any issues with it. We're just going to change a couple of items. We're going to knock out the energy suspension RTA bushings, throw on some PCI, and we're going to take off the old compensator arms. These have some energy suspension bushings too, but we're going to use some PCI there also. And for the rear LC, I'm going to use my old Paso JDM lower control arms that I took off the white hatch. Just want to get the rear end beefed up a little bit better. I feel like it doesn't, I don't know if it's, I'd like to take a look at the shoes once I get it off. I don't think it helps that I have the larger brake setup on the front, now the Jackspania brake kit. I think it could definitely just be a nice upgrade, plus the spherical bushings will probably help a little bit as well. And I think it's just time to upgrade the rear end. I wanted to get you guys some footage of the muffler, finish that video off, but it's just been terribly windy today. This is the only day I had outside. You can see some palms in my neighbor's front yard. You can even hear my gate over there. It is nasty out, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on the suspension today and any other small things I could get ready. I'm gonna swap over the wheels from the CRX because the tires are so much better. The rears are okay, the fronts are shot. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a couple pictures of them. One is just missing some of the rubber. I'm gonna try to get this car ready for the track day so I don't have anything else to work on next week. I can just worry about getting it up onto the truck. And I hate that crunch time in the last week trying to knock out other things. So see if we can get this wrapped up and then hopefully get the car aligned 1 or 2 days before the track event. So on a different day, I'll get you some footage of the exhaust. We're going to talk about that, the piping. I'll lift the car up so we can take a look at it as well. I'm really happy with it though so far. I love the extra flange added on there to make it an axle back. That is really convenient, and just how everything is now 3-inch. I like the way it sounds. It sounds pretty raspy. It's really cool. But I'll give you guys some flybys and some more footage of all that. We'll talk about the muffler setup while I still work on the suspension today. I forgot to record it, but what you need to do next, I drilled the holes for the RTA bushings to fit into the trailing arms. And then you just need to bolt those guys up now. From my disc brakes and the drums, I don't know if they're all like this, but you're gonna want to retain these brackets. These do not mount up, and we're gonna move these from the drum brakes to the disc brake side. That way we can still mount everything up as it was when it was on the car. And I learned this right now because I already finished up the passenger side. Just wanted to check everything as I was putting it together. So easy to get these apart. Let me show you. So these we can just remove. This one, if you just get a screwdriver in here and pry it apart, it comes off easily. That one actually is really easy, so I don't think we're gonna need those. This one too, if you pry in here, lift it up a little bit. You don't need to overdo it, just to get it enough to slide it out. And then we can just slide this one straight back onto here. And my pliers, I just squeeze it together a little better. The whole placement is off a little bit, but once you squeeze it, it'll be fine. These two are a little more difficult. Say for instance, we wouldn't need this. This one I just kept. I did that with my screwdriver. I don't know if that's enough. Just could do a little more. That's probably enough. Yeah. Okay, so that one. So then we gotta do the same here. Slide this one on. We'll just squeeze it together. You want to have it a little bit of room to move it. Right there is perfect. Still has room to slide wherever it needs to be, but it's not binding, and so there you go. You can now get these put on the car. Oh, almost forgot. Take this grommet off from the drums and then slide it to the disc. It's really easy if you lube it up with WD-40, then just slide it back down. Alright, so I got everything bolted back up. It's kind of a... You guys ever done rear disc brakes? It's kind of tough. You gotta drop the exhaust to get the little heat shield removed for the e-brake cables, but it's just a little time consuming. At the same time, just trying to get everything lined back up. Want to make sure the muffler fits exactly the way it was, but I didn't have any issues. The drum setup, I'm just gonna keep. They had some interesting trailing arm bushings. They kind of look like an energy suspension, but the front has this big urethane piece. I think it's kind of cool. It looks like it's a nice a nice bushing that'll be similar to the energy suspension one. I'm gonna keep these arms. I'll probably end up taking off the drums and just keep the trailing arm itself, because you know, you can always use these drum trailing arms in place of the disc if you remove those four star bolts in the back and then that big nut right there. So I'm gonna keep the trailing arms. I might keep these little brackets that I pulled off. I don't know if I'll need them, but I'm just gonna wrap them back around the actual trailing arm itself. I don't think I'm gonna keep these because they're for drum setup. I don't have any use for those on this car anymore. Ended up getting those Paso JDM arms on, and then of course now the Goodrich lines, they weren't actually on them. I had a problem with these lines. They both kept leaking at the fitting here, so I tried both and I just removed them and put these Goodrich on and didn't have any issues with leaking in there. But it's all bolted up now. Let's finish up this portion of it and see what else we can work on right now. Forgot to mention, I'm just waiting for I ordered some PCI rear upper control arms, new camber kit. I'm using the Buddy Club now, but it has just I think they're just rubber bushings, not even urethane. Want to get that one removed. I just saw it shipped today. Today is Friday. I have 8 days. Hopefully they'll be here by the end of the week, because that will be really easy to install. And then I ordered some centric rotors from them, and I already got some Hawk HP Plus pads that I have, so I'm gonna put that little setup on here just for a little bit better braking. These are, you know, they're probably fine once I drive it. It'll probably rub right off. They've just been sitting for the last couple of years. But I want to get those changed out and hopefully have a little bit better braking back here, and then just complete the spherical theme back here. So we got the trailing arms separate. We're going to keep those just as spares. If you're unfamiliar, you can actually take the disc portion off and then swap it onto these trailing arms. Say if you have a bent arm, it's a nice way of doing so. And the drums, they looked, you know, there's still a decent amount of meat on the pads, but I think it was just time to get rid of those and upgrade. Let's see if we can get the last bits installed on the rear and get this thing aligned the next day or so. So the car feels good. Just got back from bedding the rear brakes, and it's kind of neat. The wheels were super clean before I did this, and you can see all of the brake dust on them now. It felt good. New Hawk HP Plus back there, and then the Jackspania front brakes. Seems to be okay. I don't really seem to be having any issues. We're gonna find out though when you're at speed and you're going a lot faster and slamming on the brakes. It always feels a little bit different, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue. Can't imagine it. Rear discs looks better with the nicer disc on there. PCI, I could definitely feel the added rear lower control arms, the password, and then the PCI trailing arm, camber, and I also did the upper control arm bushings. Feels solid. I'm excited to get it out. See how the car does out there. But I think that wraps it up for today. I went ahead and washed it. You may be able to tell from previous part of the video. I put on a new windshield banner, got rid of the black one, rocking this Jackspania one now. Put my door cards back on. Jesus, all this metal on the floor. The car is ready to go. The only thing I need to do is load it up onto the trailer, and I think that's it. I changed the oil this afternoon. I put on different steering wheel. I just wanted my Grady VTEC Club on there. Love the way the seat came out. I was sitting in it, and obviously it may rub some down here and there as I start to use it, but I'll just grab another can of paint in the future if I need to. Engine bay, got a nice wash, some scrubbing as well, just to clean it up because it was super dusty from sitting outside. Looks great again. If you've never seen it in my videos before, I have a lot of Jackspania parts on here. Header, we got the mounts, we got the tucked radiator setup along with the filler neck. This is a Max Speeding Rod's upper bar. Then I have the shifter and the brake pads and his muffler on here. So I'll get some muffler footage soon now that the weather's cleared up, the car's running. I can get that video finished up, but looks like we'll finish this one off, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for following along. Hope the EG content is cool for you all. You guys take care.